Wake up, wake up, wake up, and stay woke. Because this is the Ball Hog Sports Talk with your boy, B. Brown, ESQ, a.k.a. the Ball Hog, a.k.a. the Mouth of the South. This is the place where sports, business, and entertainment collide. And we're going to give it to you rough, rugged, and raw. So come get you a spoonful, like grits with butter and salt. You know how we do it in the South, y'all. Make sure you do not get caught in your feelings. Strap on your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. Come on, let's go, 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 go.
Bang! What's good? What's good? What's good, America? It's your man, Reggie Florima, a.k.a. Big Flo, with my man, B. Brown, ESQ, a.k.a. the Ball Hawk, a.k.a. Mouth of the South, a.k.a.
You almost got it all. Hold on. That's how
you said so much.
I might mess it up with the mask on.
I messed mine up, man. I wasn't going to acknowledge the mask. I thought you just wanted to make sure I didn't get COVID, man. So
man, no COVID for
brand
you.
Brand new.
Playoff
all of a sudden now you got the playoff mask on.
Hey, they say act like you've been here before, but that ain't really what the Browns is rocking.
You got on a rare mask, which is like a rare Browns appearance and stuff.
Yeah,
I got to do the playoff masks next year. COVID will be gone, and so will the masks.
Yeah. Hey, I hope so. But hopefully we'll still be in the playoffs. I'll take.
Man, I was happy for y'all. I ain't gonna lie, I was happy. I like seeing people come
through.
Do. They got through. They did what they got to do, man.
All
hail to the Browns today.
Thank you. Because a lot of people hating right now, but I like that you are at least, you're rooting for the underdog. You're rooting for the underdog.
Why not? Right? Let's see what they can do. The Bears got in. We got in kind of the back door. Somebody had to lose for us to get in, and I don't even like it, man. So
somebody posted something that said the Bears are the worst team in the playoffs. I'm like, that's absolutely not true. I would say the Redskins are, right? I'm not the Redskins, the Washington football team. Sorry,
the Washington football team. We got to stay with the times. I think the Bears could beat some people. I mean, I think that the I hate to say this. I think Green Bay is probably the best team out there right now. We played against them. We kind of slowed them down more than Notre Dame slowed down.
Slowed them down.
That's topics, man. Let me ask you a question.
All right, so let me start. So, let's let the people know what it is.
Hot 16.
Hot 16, sports freestyle. You got Big Flo. You got B. Brown, ESQ, a.k.a. the Ball Hog, a.k.a. the Mouth South, a.k.a. Mr. Successful Celebration in the building. 16 minutes. Bomb. Let's go.
Boom. So let me start off with this. All right, we got the playoff race. We got a couple people made the playoffs. Browns got in. Arizona didn't get in. The Bears got in. They barely got in. So they're going to go out and probably lose first round. Thing I don't like, we talked about this before. Tanking for Tua, tanking for Tyler, whatever his name is, the guy that
Kyler Murray.
No, take it for the guy that plays for Clemson, whatever his name.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. I don't know.
Sunshine. That's because I always call him Sunshine.
Take it for Sunshine, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like that, right? And I don't like the fact that the Jets win a few games at the end, and now they're in a worse situation that they're at. What I mean? They should be rewarded for that, right? They shouldn't be hurt. We should be trying to win games. We talked about J.J. Watt getting mad because people are trying to win. Do you think the NFL should switch to a draft lottery, right? Draft lottery, give the guy a chance. So you get it. I'm gonna say that Arizona's probably the best of the non-teams that made it. Maybe I'm wrong, but just bear with me. Give them a chance to maybe get the first pick in the draft. They probably wouldn't pick a quarterback, but they pick the next best guy to change an organization. But the worst team in football, which is the Browns a lot of times, keeps getting
not this year,
baby, keeps getting the first pick.
Right.
It's not fair to the pick, and it's not fair to the league. I don't know. What do you think?
Here, I don't think that they should change to have a lottery similar to the NBA. I do not believe that they should do that. But to your point, I do think that they've got to incentivize teams to continue to try to win during the season. And maybe that's with more conciliatory, what do they call them? Conciliatory picks at the end of the draft. Maybe that's whatever they call it. I might have made it.
You're the lawyer of the NBA.
Compensatory, whatever. Whatever the word is that they use to describe those extra picks. I would suggest that that's how they incentivize the teams as opposed to necessarily making a lottery. Because if you're the worst team in the NFL,
right?
And bear with me here making this analogy. I made the analogy about how it's really tough to really go and start a program from nothing when you're talking about college football. And I was talking about HBCUs, and the topic was about Dion, but again, stay with me.
He killed him, by the way, but we get
he is killing.
show.
He is killing.
He's killing.
But my point is it's a lot harder to build a football team from scratch than a basketball team from scratch.
Okay.
And so having that first pick with a team that's the worst in the NFL is very important, because every single pick and trying to increase the talent on that team it is important, far more important, I think, than basketball. And I wouldn't do a lottery. I would just try to find other ways to incentivize the team to keep playing. And I don't think the players are tanking because of the pick.
No, they're not. And the coach doesn't want to lose. The coach
just don't want to get hurt.
Like Tomlin said, I never want to lose enough games to get a guy like you to the defensive end for the Washington football team. Yeah, I think that's most of their attitudes. But the way I look at it, NBA, I mean, one player changes the whole NBA program, right? You get a guy in there and he can change. You get two players, right? Man, whatever it takes, three, and now you can win a championship. Football takes a lot more than that. And I just think that if you look time and time again, the best player in football, not time and time again, every single year, the best player in football goes to a trash organization. Unless you are a team that lost because, like years ago, let's take basketball analogy again, San Antonio Spurs, they lost because the Admiral was hurt and they were terrible that year, but then they got Tim Duncan and the Admiral came back and now they were a perennial championship team because they kind of got lucky, and so to speak. So I think in football, you just keep taking these quarterbacks, end up getting labeled as a bust because they don't make it. You keep putting them on the worst team. You don't make the playoffs, you're not a great team, right? But you're not that far away. I like the way, hey, look, we're going to throw the balls in there. We're going to pick it out, and you don't have a really high chance of getting the first pick, but you might. And a team like Arizona, if you take them, you give them the best player in the NFL and in college. Just let's say they don't have Kyler Murray, because I don't want you to think about who the next best guy is. But you take a team that's just one game away from the playoffs, and you give them the best team, you could change them. The odds are against you because you only get one ball in there or whatever. I just don't think you should just keep rewarding the best play, the worst team and the worst organization in football. The same teams keep getting the first damn pick. How many times the Browns had the first pick?
Hey, it worked out for us. Why don't use us as an example?
I'm just saying, man, it's unfortunate we're doing it, but you keep getting the same teams get the first pick all the time. They keep getting rewarded for second.
I see your point. I definitely see your point. And it piggybacks off of JJ Watt's soliloquy and rant to his team. Right. It definitely piggybacks off that. But I don't know. I just think
something different.
I like it the way it is. Something different. We both agree that they've got to have more to incentivize the teams to keep winning. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, so we're on there. All right, we're going to switch back to college, okay?
Okay.
Our team, our alma mater, the team that we wear on our wall, both of us probably got the degree back there sometime. They took a lump.
They took a big lump.
Yeah, right? And the haters come out. You got a lot of friends out there because you're from South Florida. You got a lot of guys that barely can read. They went to South Florida schools and stuff like that. And they got a lot to say. And they come out there talking and do whatever. So I try to do a little research because, I watch TV. I watched the games.
Okay.
How many games will you think in the playoffs? So they've been doing the playoffs now for 6 years. This will be the 7th championship that we have this year, right?
Has it been 7 years already? Wow.
This will be the 7th championship that we had in the playoff organization, playoff era, as you want to call it.
Yep.
So we'll do the knowledge. I'm going to make it easy on you. We've had 14 games, including this year. We've had 14 playoff games coming in. So we have 7 playoff coming in. Playoffs to get to the championship.
Got it.
Right? Not the championship game.
Yep.
How many games would you say were decided by less than 10 points?
Close games, 14 total to choose from.
14 total, including this year.
I'll go one heavier than half and go 8.
8. So it would surprise you to find out that there's only been 3 games in the playoffs that have been decided by less than 10 points. I didn't even say 7.
That would surprise me.
Surprise, right?
That is surprising.
So everybody wants to say Notre Dame doesn't deserve to be there. This team should be there, blah, 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 blah. I mean, even in the second game, Clemson, who everyone would never argue shouldn't be there because 2 years ago they were the champion, they got pistol whipped by Ohio State. Right?
Yep, they did.
Alabama, who took it to us, and you might win the championship. I think this is going to be a real close championship game. But they got pistol whipped by Clemson 2 years ago. I think what people fail to see because they don't like Notre Dame and they don't like some of the schools is, okay, Oklahoma, every time they go in there, they get pistol whipped. Everybody gets pistol whipped. Every year, the team that's good is beating the hell out of the other teams that are there. Correct. And they say, that's proof they shouldn't be part of this. Somebody else should be there. We've had the organization. 3 games out of 14 games have been decided by 10 points or less.
You pointed to something that sets you and I and a lot of hopefully our listeners apart. Is you said something about you actually watch the games. A lot of people that are chiming in and having things to say are posting based on what they're seeing on Twitter, what other people are posting, what highlights they see on ESPN. They're not watching the game. I tried to have a rational conversation with somebody that basically the theme of the conversation is that while Notre Dame lost by 2 touchdowns, was it 2 touchdowns? It was 10, but 17, lost by 17. There were points of the game where I never thought that Notre Dame flat out was the better team, but there were points in the game that it was far more competitive than 2012, 2013
Absolutely
season.
More competitive than that.
And they were like, no, absolutely not, this, that, and the other. But and as I asked more questions, I realized that they didn't even watch the game.
No.
They watched parts of the game. Just happy we lost. So, we
were more competitive with Bama than Clemson was with OSU. But I keep thinking, man, you gotta look at these games and say any given Sunday, every given Saturday, whatever the hell day of the week we played, Monday championships, any given day, you can see a lot of stuff that's different. I mean, we beat Clemson in overtime. I granted they were missing Trevor Lawrence and they were missing that linebacker, but just looking at the field, we were very competitive with them. We weren't as competitive the second time around. Any given day, you can catch somebody on the wrong day. So I just think that people look at that kind of crazy.
Using the results to justify the means is just not the way to go about anything. The results of the game, no, there's 2 different conversations. What happened in the game? Let's talk about that, have analysis. And then a separate conversation is, did the College Football Playoff Committee make the right decisions? And those are 2 very separate conversations.
And I think every year you go into the playoffs, you're going to realize just about every year, you can say the team that got beat, you can say they did not deserve to be there because they got whooped. But that doesn't mean that the other team wouldn't have got whooped. So A&M bad. So anyway, we digress. We let that go. Switching back to the NFL.
Okay.
Right now, best team in the NFC right now, I think you got to say is the Green Bay Packers. When I commit myself to doing media, I commit myself to the truth, and I have to say the Packers, even though I can't stand that team. Aaron Rodgers. Phenomenal quarterback. Does he need to win another Super Bowl to cement his legacy, or is he already going to go down because he's got one Super Bowl as that's table stakes? He's there now. He's one of the greatest of all times, or does he have to win one more?
He's got the benefit of Dan Marino, the ghost of Dan Marino, in terms of Dan Marino's still alive, but the ghost of Dan Marino in terms of his career and legacy helps Aaron Rodgers, because no one's ever going to bat an eye when they talk about the greats and where Dan Marino fits in there. Jim Kelly. But you look at Aaron Rodgers' numbers, and it's like, that's the one position, man. It's so number centric that people forget about the fact that you don't have the championships. Warren Sapp tried to clown Steve Smith Sr. for not winning a Super Bowl and undermine his career. They don't do that with quarterbacks, because numbers are numbers are numbers. And Aaron Rodgers is done with it. I don't think he needs another Super Bowl to cement it.
But if he wins it, though, he's, right up there in the conversation.
I think he's a competitor, and he wants it. He wants it because he in his mind, I think he's fighting the ghost of Brett Favre. So he wants to win 2 Super Bowls versus Brett's one.
Brett.
You like him more than Brett?
I do.
Most people do.
I do. I think he's proven himself to be a better quarterback than Brett. Brett just got that big personality, but Brett, every time they won the game was because of Brett. Every time they lost the game was because of Brett. I think you can't say the same with Aaron Rodgers as far as every time they lose it, sometimes it's somebody else. But Brett Favre threw the ball to people with the other jersey a lot, and they just called him a gunslinger. And we can get into a whole issue with that. We're not going to go there. But he throws more interception than Jameis Winston, and we saw what happened to him. So I'm not going to go there on that, but we're going to roll. Moving on. Okay. We got some milestones. COVID been crazy this year, a lot of stuff crazy, but we quietly some amazing stuff has been happening. Derrick Henry got 2,000 yards rushing, over 2,000 yards rushing. So
2 stacks, baby. 2 stacks.
6th or 7th time, I think, in the history. They're 11-5.
The 6th one to ever do it.
Yeah. 6th one to ever do it. Are there landmarks that you achieve as an athlete that just require that the MVP should be yours? You get 2,000 yards of rusher. There's only been 5 other people that have done it. They're all monsters. They're all great. Does that make you the de facto MVP?
No. Not in a league that's a passing league. It's a passing
even
league.
More so. If it's in a passing league, they're not even running the ball like that anymore. But Derrick Henry gave you 2,000. Everybody's got one of the mean, stiff arm mush faces that can't nobody stop it.
I don't think that automatically gets you the MVP. I think it's a great accomplishment. But what's the dude named Chris Johnson had 2,000?
Yeah,
and to me, I think you can get the 2,000. I don't know if he got it the year he got MVP year he got 2,000. I don't ever remember him getting the.
I had a
MVP
show to ask the question back then too, but he didn't get it.
Yeah, I don't think he got an MVP. But point being is that if the offense is set up right, it has to go through the run. They've got basically two running backs, one in Derrick Henry and the other in Tannehill. They've got two running backs back there, so it's a different approach offensively. I think it's an amazing feat, especially that we pass the ball so much. But at the same time, I don't think it's automatic MVP.
Okay, I buy that. It's not automatic. I feel like it's such a hard feat. The NFL been around for a long time. It's such a hard feat to accomplish. They knew he needed like 230 yards. He got 250 yards in the last game. They knew he's getting the ball. They still couldn't stop him. And people argue, well, quarterback's this, quarterback that. Everybody needs that line, baby. So he has a good line, but Derrick Henry might need to do it. So
yeah.
Okay, so that's automatic. I'm going to switch back, and I'm going to go back to college.
Okay.
Today there was a coach, UT Chattanooga coach, was fired for a tweet that he had by Stacey Abrams, calling her fat, talking about how much she's ruined stuff and a lot of different things.
Called her Fat Albert.
Called her Fat Albert. Hope you're happy. Everything that went on. Sour grapes about politics, right?
Very sour. Yep.
We're in a thing where the right likes to say shut up and dribble and all the different things like that. Should a coach in this era be fired for personal attacks and going too political in a Twitter rant, or is that his freedom of speech that he should be able to say what he wants that's non-football related and go? What say you?
He should be able to say what he wants and have freedom of speech. But I do also think in this regard, you should have been fired. To tweet something out like that, unless you were drunk or high or both, that's a public square. Yeah. You don't put that in a public square. I think you fire him just because of the decision making or lack thereof, because you got this coach around young men. And you're trying to, hopefully, through that coach, create a mentor situation where they're learning how to make good decisions. And here's a coach that uses something as public as Twitter to make that statement. Have the belief. Say it to people behind closed doors. Feel the way you want to feel. But, you should be fired because that's horrible decision-making. And now, how do you recruit a kid when maybe a recruit's parent, mom, looks like Stacey Abrams?
Might be kinfolk to Stacey. Might be a substantial woman.
Everybody she sees says, you remind me of Stacey Abrams. And now this coach recruiting your son just said, you look like Fat Albert, basically. So I think he should have been fired because of stupidity, not because he does not have a right to his freedom of speech.
I agree. I think, everyone saw what happened last night and everything, whatever. People are going to have their decisions, not have a lot of conversations, people politically about it. People have their own right to do it. I think that, we ask these young men to go out and represent the university. We ask these young men to go out there and, not smoke weed and not do all kinds of craziness and represent themselves. And I just didn't see anything professional in that. If he wants to be upset because they lost 2 seats in the Senate in Georgia and say, hey, this is a big mistake, I really think we should vote, whatever, no problem. We could do all that stuff. But how do you mentor young men and then use that type of language in the description that you have? And now as a program, we got to go recruit with you over here. And I don't know if UT Chattanooga won any games this year or not anyway. So you got to go. He's got to
go. They don't really show up on the headlines normally. So you don't show up in the headlines because of that. So he should get fired just for that.
Just go. You just go. He might as well say he resigned. He just had to go. They'll say they part ways. We're gonna go there. Do you want to go talk about the part ways? We got to go there, right? I know we're at 16 minutes. We probably could have stopped, but I had to bring.
We just ran through 16. Hot 16. All right, let's do a few extra bars.
I think we got something going. I had to bring it up, man. So the coach for the Chargers, can't remember his name right now because I wasn't expecting to talk about him. He's on Hard
I
Knocks.
see his face as clear as day, and I know people who know him. And because you asked me his name, I don't
Raheem?
remember his name, right?
No,
No.
I'm sorry.
Um,
I'm sorry. We're gonna get to where we got to go to, but they showed. I saw a meme today. This week, I posted on Facebook. Really bothered me.
yeah.
They showed two
Anthony
coaches.
Lynn. Anthony Lynn.
Anthony Lynn. They showed
Yep.
two coaches, with a little less melanin that get fired from their organization, and the headline is that this organization parts ways with this coach, this organization part ways with that coach, but they can't wait to say how Anthony Lynn got fired. Right?
Yeah.
Really? Do you think people just don't notice that they have that bias?
Look,
Or do you think there's an intentional thing there? Because everyone's talking about how the media is all liberal and it's it's too politically correct and everything like that. But then I said, my question is, where were you complaining when the treatment is on the other foot? So I got to ask that question.
words matter, and
Words matter.
I think that sometimes those words are subconsciously uttered. The difference in words are subconsciously uttered.
Right.
And it just shows where we are in this country, right? The day after we've got essentially attack on our U.S. Capitol, and the entire country is looking at that, seeing how the police are using de-escalation tactics and doing anything and everything but pulling a gun out from their holster and shooting the rioters.
Mm-hmm.
The entire country, black, white, and everybody in between, sees it. It's like, this just looks a lot different than summer months when Black Lives Matter and other protesters went about their way and protested. They were met with a lot more vitriol, a lot more violence, rubber bullets, tear gas from the outset. It was just seemed the barricades were a lot further out to keep them away from any of the things in the city they considered valuable. And here it is, a U.S. Capitol, and that thing happened. So I know that's not what this is about, but it is in the sense that there's two different Americas, and words matter. So for the other coaches, less melanated, as you put it, they parted ways, and for Anthony Lynn, it's fired, and that's the reality of our America, man.
And for those of us, again, we've stayed away from politics too much in this thing, and for the most part, I should say too much. For the most part, we stay away from politics in the Hot 16. We don't have enough time to get into it. But I think when we talk about inherent bias and things that people say and they don't realize they're conscious of it, think about this. You have your mother, you have your wife, you have your daughter, right? Mm-hmm. There's things that you would never say to your mother that you would say to your wife or that you would say to your daughter because of where they stand with you, right? Your mother is the most high, your wife is your equal, and your daughter is someone that you're raising up. And there's things that you would never say to one that you say to the other, right?
Exactly.
But it's very common because we all have moms. Well, we don't all have. Yep. Most people have a mother.
Yep.
A lot of people have wives. A lot of people have daughters. And you can see that that's just really whatever. All we're just trying to say is there is no, when we talk about these coaches and we talk about people treating the same, there is no mother, wife, and child. It's all wife, right? It's all equals. It's
they
all
have the
right
same
here.
title. Absolutely.
They all have the same title. But we treat some like we would treat your mother, and we treat some like we would treat the child. And so when you're so quick, the reason why they say part ways is because you respect that person more like you respect your mother. And you wouldn't want to say your mother got fired, right? You wouldn't say your mother got fired because that's your mother. You're going to say, hey, she parted ways with her job. I'm going to give her the highest respect I can. Your daughter, you're raising her. If she messed up and she got fired, you're going to say she got fired. So all we're saying is stop treating some of these black coaches like they're your daughter. Treat them like you're your mother, or at least treat them like they're your wife. Don't treat them like they're beneath you, and consciously realize, man, I just did that. Because you know what? There are some people that wrote those headlines that don't feel like in their mind that they think differently of it, but they just had a comfort level to just say, well, he got fired. This other guy there that just naturally said, I can't say he was fired. I'm going to just part ways. I have too much respect for him. That he's a mother figure. We just got to, I'm not telling you to stop treating them like the mother, but treat him like they're your mother too. That's all we're saying.
Great analogy, man. Great analogy. And while we're not steeped into the politics, the whole, stop the steal movement was advertised for months that January 6th, this was going to happen. And it just was a very different response. So Anthony Lynn, part parted ways with the Chargers, just like the rest of the coachings. It's what they call it, Black Monday, whatever they call it, Murder Monday, Black Monday. But whatever it's
ironically,
Black Monday, he got fired. But I would say he parted ways, just like the rest of the coaches. And that's it, man.
That's it, man. Anyway, guys, hey, Hot 16, tomorrow.
Hot 16, baby.
What we got tomorrow on the show before we go? We take an extra time.
I'll just a little taste. We're officially a podcast, man. We're on platforms now, man. So Spotify, Apple, that's big news for us.
Congratulations, man.
Unfortunately, we won't have you tomorrow, but you'll be with us in spirit.
Tomorrow, guys, I gotta go. I'm an old man. You gotta go get things looked at. I want to be on the show, but they gotta put me on there for a little while. Nothing special, nothing to be worried about. No prayers needed. But I don't want to get back on the show and say something crazy.
Right. That'd be funny if you were under the influence.
You never know. You might see me. I might just dial in. You might not want to put me on. If I dial in and we haven't spoken first, you might not want to.
Oh, that's exactly. I'm telling the producer, get him on right now.
Final disclaimer.
Ask him a whole bunch of personal questions. But we got some good stuff, man. Some good sports stuff, talking about some college football, NFL. There will be some politics in there, but come join us. The Ball Hawk Sports Talk early in the morning, 9 a.m.
No doubt.
Come holler at your boy.
Sounds great. Monday, supposed to come back with a show. The Big Flow show. Supposed to have Sean Wooden on. We're going to talk a little bit about these part of the named in the lawsuit with the NFL concussions. We're going to give you inside scoop. I know that's not the hottest thing right now in football, but we're going to give you a little inside scoop that you may not have heard, man. But besides that, Hot 16, Volume 11, 89 to go before syndication. Let's go. Peace. Browns, baby.